Hi everyone, I'm Qingtian Xiao and I'm a 1000 student. In this presentation, I'm gonna introduce a non-forgettable experience in Center Espiritu, Vanuatu. Then I'm trying to combine my stories to link some theories to evaluate it from the perspective of destination management. So let's start with the destination profile. Firstly, Central Espiritu is the largest island in Vanuatu. It is our labor, which located in the northern end of the Vanuatu, as you can see in the map. Luganville is the capital city of this island. The only international flight for this small town is from Brisbane to Luganville. Uh, Only once a week. It's before the pandemic. According to the World Bank, tourism occupies over 30% of GRP and is the pillar of the economy here. In spite of the how important of tourism for Vanuatu, Vanuatu is still one of the poorest countries in the world. The reason I mention poverty here, you guys can see in next few slides. So generally, Central Espiritu is a relatively closed and undeveloped island to outside world, but it is a really bad thing. That's followed by a large question mark because now it is seemed it is a benefit for them because zero case of COVID-19. That's a dream for many countries. So I listed four things to do in center. The first one is shipwrecking diving in a world famous diving sport named the $1 million point. The second one is swimming in the blue horse, which is I think is the highlight for many South Pacific countries. The third one is kayaking in the forest. Is you can see the forest rainforest. You can see the color changing very clearly with the distance to sea to inland. So uh, the last one is sea fishing. I have never tried this one to be honest because the charter price is not affordable for me. And you can see any activity in Central Espiritu cannot go without water, no matter underwater or above water. So that's back to the poverty. One photo could show the life of the local people. I mean, authentic local people. People who earn their lives without the dependence on the tourism. So I took this photo randomly. By the way, it is recorded in the collections of the Chinese National Geography. You guys can clearly see how happy these kids are, and I have to admit that they have better sense of lands than me. It is hard to imagine. They are the happiest people in the world. I don't want to talk too much about the happiness here, because the goal is to show how poor they are. So, yes, you're right. That's the Luganville International Airport. I was shocked as well when I got out from the cabin. It is definitely the worst airport I've seen in the world. Dirty, 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 oh, small. Okay, the next one is the mini villa with the ocean view. The villa is adorable and the sea view is invincible, right? Sorry, no air conditioning. To be honest, it is a challenge for me to enjoy these views without the comfortable accommodation. More importantly, I paid that for $300 per night. So in this case, it is a little bit hard for me to determine which stage of center in tourism area life cycle. So they have many features of the stage of both involvement and development. Loss of control is a significant phenomenon in center because all the resources are from the overseas funding. Further, they have some specific market like fishing, diving, trekking, blah blah blah. But this is an attraction for many particular markets like Australian or New Zealand visitors. As you guys seen in the last two slides, Central Espiritu just have very basic tourism infrastructure. However, it is nothing with the comfort. Although the number of the tourists are increased substantially, like reached to 20,000 comparing to the local population, 40,000 is just half. So generally, we have reason to believe Central Espiritu is at the very beginning of its tourism life cycle. So okay, let's go with the with my favorite sport, diving. I'm a big fan of diving. You can see the underwater world is even more attractive than the view above. Let me just show you some photo. Yeah, the color. Oh my gosh. However, seriously, back to the topics. I would love to mention the environmental impacts because variable diving trips by variable tour operator. It is an actually it there's no stand in this market in diving market of in center. This is a potential. I mean, it is a threaten for the center's environment. As we all know, center is a very small island. It has its own climate system. Any part of the environmental system change can significantly affect the surroundings. So the major negative impacts brought by the unregulated diving tours constitute two parts. The first one is the cultural heritage, as I mentioned before, the $1 million point. The other one is the adaptations to the vulnerability to the climate change are decreased due to the diversity of the diving sports in center. You can dive in many places, like the impacted objects. So the impacted objects are wide, like coral, reefs, beaches, caves, many. So, in conclusion, the major stakeholders, the visitors from mainly from the New Zealand and Australia, tour visitors, no matter onshore or offshore, transportation operators, meaning is the AO Vanuatu, and the Vanuatu government, all levels like local or central, they should establish platforms to effectively evaluate the environmental capacity and push relevant legislation to protect and maintain the current adaptations to climate change. This could contain like the weekly unbound tourist number or establishment of the nature reserves. This is not just protection of environment. I think it's a kind of protection for the tourist resource. So but the second one is Vanuatu government could cooperate with the diving association to regulate what the divers should do. Like the sand scream is a disaster for the blue horse. The mineral formed by million of years. So sand scream is a disaster for the underwater ecosystem. So this is a good example. So, but the third one is the I want to really want to see because Vanuatu, the center Espiritu, has a very good chance because the many mainstream countries cannot dream to have because they have very low pressure from the epidemic. Because I know pandemic is a disaster for economy. However, it is party for ecology. It gives a break for a period of the restore for the environment. So to better cater for the future market. So it is a winning point for Central. Like they have time to update the tourism infrastructure like airport, light work construction or the power construction. So it is a preparation for the future economic recovery. Thank you.